Okay, the one thing something, this is going to be very obvious to you after I say it, but you have to be able to talk like a trader. You have to be able to talk like an investor. You have to know the vocabulary, okay? The only way to do that is to expose yourself to the vocabulary. There's many places out there. The world of investing and trading these days is just huge. And I suspect that most of you who end up watching this video will really have your eyes opened to what is out there. Somehow, some way, the word just doesn't get out there. I, why, I don't know. Investopedia.com is exactly what it says. It's like an encyclopedia. Um, it has a dictionary. Okay, you click on a word, and there you go. Um, if you hear something and you don't know what it means, liquidity. What's liquidity mean? Refers to the ease with which an asset or security can be converted into ready cash without affecting its market price. Okay? For example, a stock is much more liquid than a house. It's much easier to sell a stock than it would be a house. So a stock is much more liquid than a house. So, stuff along those lines. One of my favorite places is tfnn.com. I owe everything I know to these guys. If you go up here to Tiger TV and click that link, they have TV going. Well, now it's up. Right now it's offline. That is not very often. You scroll down and they have all their shows archived. Okay? Steve Rhodes, this guy right here, the Trader's Edge. He has a show almost every day. Or he does have a show every day, unless he's sick or whatever. He is the guy that I have learned 90% of what I know from. Uh, Again, they have their shows archived. Um, if you want to see what his show is on from 1 o'clock Eastern to 2 o'clock Eastern every day, every trading day. He has a newsletter uh, that you can subscribe to. Comes out every day. Steve Rhodes has one. David White has two of them. They're different newsletters or different prices. Tom's is 169. His gold report is 97 bucks. Basil Chapman's is 128 bucks. And Steve has one for 149. Larry Pesavento, if you do any market history, you will find Larry Pesavento's name everywhere. He is one of the premier traders in the country. So his is on in the morning, 9 to 10 Eastern. Basel, noon to 1 Eastern. Um, this is Tom O'Brien. He's the owner of TFNN. This is his son. They have a show 10 to 11 Eastern. And Tom has an evening show, uh, an hour an hour before market close, and then uh, into the close. Every one of these guys are good. Every one of these guys do things a little bit differently. Again, you know, one guy one guy might be hard for you to follow when another guy might be extremely easy for you to follow. But what I do suggest is you see how they do things. Take some time. Um, you can go to YouTube, and they have months and years of videos on there from all these guys, and you can start exposing yourself to the vocabulary and start learning the lingo. Okay. If you don't want to trade yourself, again, the newsletters, um, Steve literally says, go long this, or if you can short, do this. And his newsletter is pages long. Um, of stuff. Uh, so if you wanted to do it that way, another way is the hedge eye guys. To me, as far as I'm concerned, as far as the overall following of the economy and more in the investment realm, their stuff is a little bit longer, like, 3 months, 6 months, a year, so on and so forth. And these guys break down the economy in four different, what they call quads: quad one, quad two, quad three, and quad four. And they break down the economy with growth and inflation. What growth is doing, what inflation is doing, as the economy as a whole. They have growth. Quad one is growth accelerating, inflation slowing. Quad two is growth and an inflation accelerating. Quad three is growth slowing, inflation accelerating. And quad four is growth and inflation slowing. And in each one of those quads, there's things to look for to be long in, and there's things to look for to be short in. Okay, we're in quad four right now with growth and inflation slowing. So right now you want to be long the XLP, XLV, VNQ, XLU. Now, with what I just rattled off, okay, the XLP, XLV, VNQ, and XLU are ETFs. They're exchange traded funds. Okay? Well, I have little cheat bookmarks here. And the XLP is consumer staples, consumer staples. And inside that ETF, ETF stands for electronic traded fund. These are the stocks that are in that ETF. Okay? So if so we are in quad 4. The way I do it is we're in quad 4, growth and inflation slowing, and those the XLP is one to possibly be long. I don't trade ETFs very often because they are so exposed to they're they're so exposed to the market. And if I brought up a chart of the XLP right now, the market has went straight down. This is a weekly chart, okay? And the XLP has pretty much followed it, okay? But there are stocks that are still up. Look at that. Clorox Company is still up year to date. YTD 15 and a half bucks. Kroger's still up 9.5 bucks. Everything else is down. So you can bring up a chart of Clorox and possibly trade that specific company or not. You know, when you learn to trade and learn what to look for, you can go down into a particular stock, or if the market is going in a way that, you know, we are in really confusing times right now. So things aren't exactly the way they probably would be uh, at any other time. So what you want to do is you want to start learning the lingo. Start learning the vocabulary. You want to know what short means. You want to know what long means. You want to know bullish and bearish and indicators and, so on and so forth. Is the way I relate it to is it is like a new language. That's what I relate it to. So those are some uh, resources you can use. You can uh, to start learning this stuff. The way the way I think is you simply bring up on your phone TFNN, regardless who's on there, and just listen to them talk. You don't have to understand what they're talking about right now. You don't have to understand what they're saying right now. Just expose yourself to it, and you will gradually start getting it. This takes time. Before I really had a handle on things, I traded for 6 years. But I started at zero and I had to figure out how to learn it first. You have me. You having me and these videos can reduce your learning curve by years. You listening to these videos can get you up and going within months. What took me years to get to could take you a couple months. It just depends on how much you apply yourself. So get to work, you know. Um, Again, I'm here for questions. Uh, you can email me, you can text me, and matter of fact, I need to put that information on my page and start learning. Okay? Peace out.